Red Bull has created a new Formula 1 engine company that will take over Honda's upgraded power units in 2022 and could come up with its own design in the future. The announcement of Red Bull powertrains coincided with the news that, as was expected, Red Bull has agreed a deal to keep using Honda engines beyond the manufacturer's exit from F1 at the end of 2021. And now Red Bull's new F1 engine masterplan is coming together, starting with Honda essentially giving Red Bull a massive freebie for 2022 and potentially ending with Red Bull finally building its own F1 engine. Red Bull is preparing its new company to maintain Honda's engines, but it has always been emphatic that it couldn't develop them. So a much needed engine freeze in 2022 instead of 2023 stops the likes of Mercedes and Ferrari benefiting from an extra development cycle that Red Bull simply wouldn't be able to match. But there is still scope for manufacturers to upgrade their 2021 engine for the start of next season, and that's where Honda is making a massive effort for little if any payback. Honda will develop its 2021 engine until the end of this year, at its own expense, so Red Bull can inherit an up-to-date specification from 2022. Next year, F1 will switch to so-called E10 fuels, which are a 90% traditional fuel and 10% biofuel mix. The new fuel means manufacturers must update their combustion engine design. Honda is committed to funding a development program through 2021 that essentially means it will work on a 2022 engine as if it wasn't leaving F1 at all. Engine upgrades aren't allowed during this season, but Honda will just work in the background so Red Bull and AlphaTauri have the best possible design when Honda does leave. In addition, Honda will assist Red Bull powertrains with the assembly of its engines during 2022 while the new company is being geared up. It risks a situation like Brawn GP in 2009, where a massive amount of Honda investment creates a title-winning product that Honda ultimately gets precious little recognition for. But it seems the company has decided that's a risk worth taking. Red Bull team boss Christian Horner says that Red Bull Powertrains has a clean sheet of paper, but the reality is this new operation will not be starting from scratch. There will be personnel carryover from Honda, including inheriting the vast majority of Honda's Racing Development UK operation in Milton Keynes, near the Red Bull factory. Other roles will be filled in the coming weeks and months, but it means Red Bull already has a ready-to-go group of skilled personnel and has time to expand that team for the longer-term project. The HRD takeover will work alongside an expanded Red Bull technology campus, so Red Bull can conduct as much work on site as possible and maximise integration between the chassis and the power unit. Red Bull also believes it will be able to redeploy some team members to the powertrains company, which will protect some jobs that might otherwise have been lost because of the need to slim down for F1's 2021 cost cap. Finally, it's been known for some time that Red Bull would require third-party assistance, as even established manufacturers including Honda have struck such relationships in the past. Horner has named Austrian company AVL, which has a lot of modern F1 power unit knowledge and has specialist equipment including dynos, as a partner for the new project. This is a huge undertaking that Red Bull will bear the financial burden for. Horner calls it a significant commitment to F1 and says Red Bull has shown once more that it's not afraid of taking risks. An easily forgotten story from 2020 was the departure of Andy Cowell as boss of Mercedes high-performance powertrains. There was little speculation around where the architect of the era-defining Mercedes V6 turbo hybrid power unit would go, because Cowell said he was seeking a new challenge outside of F1. Red Bull needs to fill major roles in its new company, including a technical director, a managing director and more, and Horner says there are candidates in mind for these positions. It seems plausible that current Honda F1 technical director Toyoharu Tanabe could find himself in one such role. But Cowell has unsurprisingly been tentatively linked to a job as well. Cowell heading up the engine department, with Adrian Newey still tinkering with chassis design and Max Verstappen behind the wheel, would be a modern Red Bull dream team. But Horner has poured cold water on the idea, suggesting that even approaching Cowell is out of the question. He's also played down the likelihood of moving for another esteemed engine man, Mario Ilian, who Horner says has got his own business and own stuff that he's very busy with, and that there's been no discussions with the Ilmor company either. Advocates of a Megatron-inspired branding project will be as disappointed as critics of the Tag Heuer Renault engine from a few years ago will be relieved. Red Bull's not planning anything special with its engine name. Horner says it will simply be a Red Bull engine. As Mercedes is a Mercedes, it will be an incorporated part of the car, so it will just be a Red Bull. That's a disappointment to creative thinkers, and it's also a surprise to many who thought it would make a lot of sense for Red Bull to farm the branding rights of the engines out to a paying sponsor. It was considered likely that it would do exactly what it did when it claimed its Renault engine was a wristwatch at the height of its toxic relationship with its former supplier. But Horner says there have been no discussions on calling the engine anything else, and says the AlphaTauri engine is likely to be a Red Bull as well. This is a bold move given Red Bull has seized control of its own destiny, but it lacks the experience and know-how of its engine rivals. The use of Honda personnel and experts from AVL will seek to offset this, and Honda's ongoing involvement means Red Bull knows it will have the best possible chance of making this work in 2022. Plus, it can continue designing its car for next year's new technical rules with the engine layout and specification it was counting on, and potentially with even greater integration. But it's still a step into the unknown, and there is a chance it will backfire. Red Bull heads into its final year of the Honda partnership knowing Mercedes has a strong chance of winning again. Realistically, the prospect of Red Bull toppling this era's dominant force relies entirely on its own Honda-based independent effort being good enough to overthrow an unequivocally committed, mature and competent combined car and engine operation. But what Red Bull's new investment might do is reassure star driver Max Verstappen that Red Bull will leave no stone unturned in being a successful F1 force again. Verstappen has a performance clause in his contract, but Red Bull doesn't want to rely on clauses to keep hold of him. It wants Verstappen to want to be with the team. Losing Honda risks jeopardising that, and while it remains to be seen if Red Bull's and Verstappen's interests are properly harmed by Red Bull having to go solo on the engine front, it's a serious show of intent that he will likely buy into, at least for now. One small concern for Red Bull might be that the so-called engine convergence system that it was keen on will not be enshrined in the regulations alongside a freeze. Red Bull and Ferrari wanted to ensure that any manufacturer that starts the 3-year freeze at a significant disadvantage would have a mechanism of catching up. But that didn't form part of the freeze proposal that was voted through unanimously. Horner says it will exist informally in some way, giving the FIA the necessary empowerment to bring parties to the table. He also thinks that all the manufacturers would agree to an emergency measure to help one another if it was desperately required. But banking on goodwill in Formula 1 isn't a reassuring form of insurance. Given the extent of the commitment, it's perhaps no surprise Red Bull thinks this could be a long-term solution. Red Bull is interested in some kind of engine or battery manufacturer tie-up in the future, but it will now not be dependent on attracting a new brand into F1 for the next generation engine in 2025. While Red Bull powertrains will not be tooled up to build or upgrade engines to the current specification, it expects to be capable of doing so for the new rules in 2025, even though they aren't defined yet. That's because Red Bull's new company will be properly equipped by then, with facilities that include build shops, dynos and other relevant equipment, and it has time on its side to prepare. So Red Bull's long-term future in Formula 1 is now secure for two major reasons. First, it adds another immense investment into Grand Prix racing, in addition to 2 teams, a racetrack and an entire Grand Prix. That makes it highly unlikely Red Bull could ever justify simply walking away, regardless of any noisy quit threats. Second, this move gives Red Bull control of its own future and destiny. For a company that has been so independent in Formula 1 and done a lot of things in its own way and in a big way, it's never had such security on the engine side. Despite always being a de facto works team, Red Bull hasn't been that in a real sense. It's been in an awkward limbo between a traditional customer and a fully fledged manufacturer, and now it can move towards the latter. So what do you make of Red Bull's engine news, and would you like to see it finally take the plunge and be a fully fledged engine builder in 2025? Let us know in the comments, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and make sure you're subscribed to The Race to keep up to date with our future videos as well.